All right, everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of the Just Noise podcast. We are getting extra spooky here, ladies and gentlemen. It's spooky season. Logan, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
Doing pretty good, man. It's been a weekend. I went to a wedding. We left on Friday and I got back at 11 o'clock last night. So
Oh, so you're tired. Yeah.
it's been a busy past couple days, but I'm excited.
Hell yeah. Well, nonetheless, we're very excited to get back to the Just Noise podcast. We've been gone for 2 weeks. We had a nice episode last week, and we want to continue to get the train rolling. So, without further ado, welcome our buddy Michael. He is from Through the Eyes of the Dead, My Bitter End. He's a prolific drummer and super excited to talk to him. So, Michael, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
Doing great.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, as always, we like to start off with like origins. And so, if you want to let us know how everything started for you, where you decided, like music was for you, you want to take up drums or everything, whatever you want to let us know from the beginning, we'll love to hear it.
So I kind of was into heavy music from a real early age. Growing up, like my dad was a DJ, so he played a lot like weddings and stuff like that, like live
Mhm.
DJ. So and at a lot of these places he would play, rock bands like Leonard Skinner and Meatloaf and Pink Floyd and stuff like that. So I started early getting into like rock and roll bands, but from that point on, I started getting into like heavier stuff. I got into Motley Crue and like Def
Mhm.
Leppard, and then it turned into like Metallica, and from there I discovered bands like Sepultura and Pantera, and it just kind of like got more underground oriented as I got older. Like I got introduced to Suffocation and bands like Pessimist and Internal Bleeding, and then I listened to like a lot of old school hardcore bands like 25 to Life and All Out War and Earth Crisis. I mean, in fact, Earth Crisis and One King Down was the first hardcore show I ever attended back in like 97 or 98. And like I
That's
went there.
wild.
Yeah, I went to the show like wearing like a Korn t-shirt with like baggy pants. Definitely, got introduced to that particular kind of lifestyle in a it was just like a punch to the face, pretty much going to an
Mhm.
Earth Crisis show, and just
Right.
immediately was stage diving and just having like a blast. And I was I was completely in love with the whole entire thing from that point on. Like, and I was lucky to have a venue where they were bringing in my favorite bands to like I don't know what the cap of the place was, but it was intimate setting enough where you could basically meet the bands that played every time they played there. And you know I got to see Deftones play in a setting that seemed like a hardcore show. You know what I mean? Like they
Mhm.
Right.
were they were supporting Around the Fur, and like I
That early
remember my
on, that's
brother was
crazy.
dude. My
So,
brother was like up on the crowd. Chino had his arms around him. They were mic in hand, like screaming together. Like it was like
That's awesome.
still to this day one of the coolest memories I have. Seeing that. But but yeah, that like just always been into heavy music since a little kid. And as I got older, I got into like the more technical aspects of the music and started trying to like get into more music like that as well. So that's just pretty much how it's been since.
Hell yeah. What was kind of something that what was a driving force to like getting behind a drum kit, I guess? I mean,
um
obviously those were bands you listened to. Like, were they like early influences? Were you?
so I'll tell you, basically I had this like this VHS tape from the video of One from Metallica. And back in like the early 90s, they sold this VHS tape. It was that and a couple others, like the Who Then Now from Korn video that came out way back in the day. I was like obsessed with that also. But the one Metallica was basically the reason I wanted to play drums.
Hell yeah,
you know like
that's cool.
like I mean, I remember seeing the video for the first time ever, and like, if you guys are familiar with that video, it focuses heavily on Lars and on the drum kit. You know, in that video, they're doing a lot of shots of his performance, and like, for some reason, I was just obsessed with that. I would grab butter knives and like play along, like as a little kid. You know, I was like 8 or 9 years old when that came out, but I had the entire song figured out on drums. Like, you know, at
Before
that
you got
time.
behind
Knew
a
what you
kid,
were
that's
doing.
crazy.
Yeah, before I even sat on a kit, I like knew every component, like, and how everything worked. So
That's
when I
all.
actually did for the first time sit behind a drum kit, I rocked like a half a section of a White Zombie song like right off the bat, and like the dude that owned the kit was like, "You need to get some drums, bro." Like,
See,
Right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
it's not about the gear, man. It's about the drive. That's crazy. Yeah.
So like, you know, so I ended up somehow securing a kit. You know, that was even years later. You know, I never got my own drum set till I was probably 16. You know, so I was like for a long time I had a buddy that lived down the road from me, and his brother had a double bass kit set up. It was like a whole bunch of like mismatched pieces that were just, you know, slapped together, but it worked and it got the job done. So I would just basically I would call him after school and be like, "You want to hang out?" And he'd be like,
Can
"Yeah,
I
let's
play your
hang out."
drums?
I'd literally walk in, I'd give him a pound and just right down to his basement and play his drums for like 5 hours. We would not hang out at all. And like, but that's pretty
You're my
much what
best
happened.
friend, bro.
And he would even say like, "Dude, you definitely need to get a kit and join a band." And like, so that's kind of what made me want to start doing it on a more serious level, you know.
Yeah, dude, that's
My
super
brother and I
exciting.
just started jamming. My dad rented out a barn for us, and we would jam and write, like, you know, these you know, hardcore songs, and they never got recorded, but we were able to, you know, get better at our instrument by playing, you know. So that definitely had a lasting effect on things.
What was the first
Hell yeah.
official project that you were a part of? Was it My Bitter End?
No, I was in tons of like local bands and stuff before My Bitter End formed. So I, you know, like I met like a bunch of, you know, local musicians when I was probably like 18 years old, and I used to go to this, you know, local heavy metal, you know, store in that sold bootleg, you know, copies of shows and like CDs and stuff, and I would go there and just, you know, get my hands on whatever I could. But I saw a flyer one time with like this local guitarist that used to be in a band I liked, and he was looking for a drummer. So I hit him up, literally played drums on the phone for him, and he was like, "Yeah, let's do this, dude." And we started a band and jammed for a little bit. It was nothing serious, but I was able to meet like a bunch of other local musicians in the area through that dude. And so through him, I met Sean Jennings, who was the bass player of My Bitter End. He was playing in this local hardcore band called Eye to Eye. They had some notoriety in the area, and you know, when I met him, that kind of opened the door to meeting a bunch of other people and starting other projects, and just, you know how that goes. It just kind of, things just fall into place usually when you start meeting people, and yeah, if you're semi decent at your instrument, you know, it gets around pretty quick, and that's kind of what happened for me. You know, like I just started getting hit up by people after that. You know,
And drummers are hard to find everywhere.
they can be, yeah, they can be. It's weird. Like sometimes they're in abundance and like available, and then other times it's like
This
nothing.
guy's
You
in
can't
8
find nothing.
projects.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
trust
And
me, I know.
you are
I'm
in
in
like
5
8
myself.
projects.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in five of my own right now. I'm doing like 3 sessions for other albums, and yeah, I got others that are on the table right now that I'm probably gonna end up doing as well. So,
Well, we
you know,
definitely want to explore all the past stuff and, you know, even the current stuff. I know you're all over the place, man. Like, it's awesome. You continue to just
yeah, literally
blow the fuck out of my mind every new release. We're gonna wait to get to the new Leyline stuff, and we're gonna shout it out super hard. But
You guys are just insane, man. Chaos core.
Yeah,
Oh,
The
that new
ass,
EP
like,
is so awesome.
thank you, man.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of Leylines, dude. It's probably the band I I feel like the most validated with personally. From an artistic standpoint, it's just everything I strive to do in music. We're kind of nailing with Leylines, you know.
Hell yeah.
and everything
That's
that you do is
yeah,
it's a peach. Me and Logan agree. Just amazing. So,
Oh,
Mhm.
well,
yeah, if you
definitely
will,
appreciate that.
yeah, man. So if you'll oblige us a little bit, if you want to start from the beginning for us, how did My Bitter End begin? If as far as all that goes, like I know
Okay,
there are very
so
many releases, so
so My Bitter End started in like '01. Um, it was basically like a band that formed from another band breaking up. My brother and I had and Sean had a band called Foreordained. Um, it was like old school metalcore, um, and it was cool. We were really proud of it. We had signed to Inner Strength Records and recorded a full length, and it was basically
a
turned
thin
into the
line between.
label. No, the Foreordained album.
Okay. Oh,
So we
that's even
turned
cooler.
this.
Sorry.
We turned this album. Yeah, I'm getting, but this. It turned. It'll make sense how My Bitter End formed when. But so basically, we turned in the Foreordained album, and the vocalist found out he had a kid, and pretty much like the day after we turned the album in, he moved out of the state from New York to Arkansas, and
Shit.
the band was done at that point.
Mm-hmm.
We decided we couldn't keep it going, so we ended up recycling a lot of the songs from that album, and those became the thin line between Heaven and Here songs for My Bitter End. We ended up getting another vocalist and just started a whole new band with a whole new name. Tweaked the songs, the Foreordained songs. We kind of redid a little bit, and then we re-recorded the album. And Inner Strength still wanted that album, so we just kind of kept the same deal that Foreordained had and pushed it over to My Bitter End.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. That's one of my favorite albums of My Bitter End. Like I love the production, everything, because it's just
I
that
have
early
I'll send
MySpace
you guys the
sound.
Foreordained CD. I'll make a.
Okay.
I'll,
Thank you. Thank you. I was going to ask
I'll
about that.
send it to you. I think you guys
Okay.
will like it. It's got a lot of riffs that are on Thin Line, and
Okay.
personally, I prefer the recording on Foreordained to the Thin Line 100 times. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
Okay.
you'll
Let's
see what I
go.
mean. It's just a way better recording.
Okay.
But yeah, that's pretty much how My Bitter End formed. It was like from the ashes of this band Foreordained, and we were just kind of left scrambling with what we were going to do with we just spent a bunch of money recording that album, and we had to scrap that, but we didn't really want to give up on some of those songs.
Mm-hmm.
So we brought them on to My Bitter End and just did what we could with them,
Absolutely. I would have done the same thing.
Yeah, it was just a weird situation with him. Like the dude's name is Pete, and I'm still good friends with him. He's a great guy. At the time, he just, when you get news that you got a kid in a different state, it's probably a shock, and he just didn't know what to do. He just dropped
Mm-hmm.
everything and went out there,
All right.
and
Mad
he's still
respect.
there,
Like,
So
yeah.
I can't hate on him. I just
Hell
seen
yeah.
him when I toured, when we did the 20-year anniversary tour through the Eyes and Warforged. We played in Arkansas, and he was out there.
That's cool.
So
Props to you
everything's
guys.
good.
That's so cool. And also super cool that he was there. But yeah, so yeah, moving forward from that release, this next one, you guys did Painting the Town Red Through the Back of My Head. There was only one song that you guys did on that one that ended up on the next release, the Renovation. That was Dirt Helmet, right?
Yeah. I'm not really sure why we ended up bringing Dirt Helmet into the Renovation. I think, to be honest, like it's such a long time ago that like that was like '05 or '06 when we were even discussing what we were going to do with that album, and that song was the only song that made it to the renovation that was written with the previous lineup, you know. So it might have just come down to a fact that we needed another song for the album, you know. So we ended up just using it. But
yeah, I was curious because you guys had kind of gone through a transition from that point. You were with Inner Strength, and then you weren't. You did that self-titled release, and then you guys were with
Uprising.
Thank you. Yeah. So when you guys came to the renovation, that was the album for me as the first time I ever heard it. Where we're using triggers on that one, right?
No, I wasn't using triggers. Just Jamie King. Just his editing. It's pretty. You can recognize his stuff when you hear it, and but yeah, I didn't start using triggers till I joined Through the Eyes of the Dead, to be honest.
Okay.
So like that was a few years after the renovation came out. I for drums with My Bitter End, pre Through the Eyes era, I used to put like little metal click pads on my kick drum, and that's how I would get like the clicky sound. I knew nothing of triggers until I joined Through the Eyes of the Dead, and Jake and Justin basically had a trigger set up, and they gave it to me, and they were like, "This is going to be a game changer for you," and it was. As soon as I started with them, I was just like, "Why haven't I been using these my whole life?" But yeah,
that's why I
it's been a
wanted to
while
ask
now.
before I spewed out of my ass and was like, "You were using triggers on this album." That is the first album in my fucking high school brain that I had ever heard kicks that sounded like that, and it was just like, oh my god, dude, what the fuck? So
Dude, yeah,
yeah,
crazy because it was chain drive pedals that I used for that album, but single strokes too. I mean, like I was just a young dude, like 26 when we recorded
beast mode.
that, and just I had some live videos of me like tracking. I wish I had them now. I don't know what happened to them, but yeah, they were really cool. I wish I still had them. But a lot of that precise kick sound, definitely Jamie helped with in the editing. That's for sure. Like if I was to go back and record it now, I mean, I'm pretty good with double strokes now, so I could probably nail the kicks unedited if I had to. But
We know you could.
yeah, Jamie came in, hooked it up for that one for sure. Made it sound
Dude,
sick.
He kills all of the new album, the remasters that are coming out for like the old school releases. Me and
Oh
Logan,
my god, I know.
we're
I
big
mean,
time
it's like a night and
collectors.
day difference.
It's nuts. I know that, like, I know you collect vinyl also, so you probably follow a lot of these newer remasters releases that come out. But me and Logan are
For
right on
sure.
there for the whole thing. And dude, Jamie King kills all of that. It just sounds phenomenal.
Yeah, he's just amazing. He really is, and such a humble guy, such a really awesome dude. Like I could still to this day hit him up, and for a guy that where he's at in life and what he's doing, like he gets back so quick. It's like it, that speaks a lot for in today, and some people act like they're just so busy and they don't got time. He's not one of those guys.
Yeah, you're sitting in front of your computer, your phone goes off. What's up, homie? Like, but no, yeah, I get being busy. Yeah,
Like it's just some people just are in different parts of life. I guess it is what it is. I don't judge them, but I'm not somebody to leave someone hanging. I try to get back.
you've always been the true homie. You've always helped me out. So, and also you've helped me out. And Logan, thank you for joining us again tonight. Like, this has been a lot of fun. The train keeps rolling.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. So yeah, next release for you, my friend. I know you've had quite a long discography, but Nostalgic Sentiments. You want to tell us a little bit about that? That was the final release for My Bitter End.
So like yeah, basically My Bitter End had been broken up for a couple of years. And Hank, who was the guitar player in Through the Eyes with me on Skepsis, we were like, till he's still one of my best friends. And so I remember when I first auditioned for Through the Eyes and I got the job, and I was like, sick, I got the job. And Justin was like, yeah, we got a new guitar player too. He's going to be joining the tour. and it was Hank, and like he was like, "Yeah, dude, I'm the new guitar player," and I was like, "What?" I was like, "Are you fucking serious?" I was like so stoked, because like he was a longtime homie, and he didn't even tell me he was trying out, for the band. So when he got the gig, I got it on pretty much the same time, and we basically drove down to Virginia together to Jake's house and started, our first tour with the band, and it was crazy. Like I was I was pumped to hear that, but anyways, like after Through the Eyes started slowing down, in like 2010, we like decided we weren't going to be touring as much anymore, and Hank and I lived within like 40 minutes of each other. We hung out all the time. We were always jamming. In fact, we wrote a lot of Skepsis. A good majority of that album was me and Hank that wrote that, and we just decided to start writing new My Bitter End songs. Hank had been a My Bitter End fan for a long time. He knew all the previous stuff. He was playing it like he had written it, and we started just writing some songs with my brother Todd, and they ended up becoming the Nostalgic Sentiments songs. And Tyler, like he was not in the band at the time. We had another vocalist, our buddy Tim from the Classic Struggle, was doing vocals for us for
Metal Blade.
a lot of the writing of that stuff. And when things didn't work out with Tim, and Tim ended up not being in the band, we sent a lot of the nostalgic material to Tyler, and he was like, I'm in. Let's do it. Let's do it right now. And so he joined the band again, and that's pretty much how that happened. Then we went to my buddy Elliot's house. We tracked the album or the EP, and then we put it out with We Are Triumphant for a digital release, at least. Greg Long, I didn't know him very well, but he had hit me up and said that he wanted to help us get it out, and I didn't know anybody at that point because like My Bitter End had been not really active, so I thought it was just a good idea to get with him to at least jumpstart some press for us and stuff and get it out there. And he was definitely really helpful with getting it out there and helping us get some tours even and get some stuff. So I'm glad we did that. But yeah, that's basically how Nostalgic Sentiments ended up being what it was.
I really love, and I'm assuming that it's your brother that does a lot of the lead work on My Bitter End, but on
actually,
okay, never mind.
My brother writes all the rhythm stuff.
Okay,
believe it or not, yeah, all the rhythm stuff, all the like song structures and stuff like that was definitely me and my brother. All of the lead work, especially for the renovation, that was all AJ Tompkins. He wrote all the leads for the renovation, and then Hank wrote all of the Nostalgic Sentiments leads.
He definitely picked up where it left off. In my opinion, it sounds spot on in terms of tone and the sweeps and the composition of everything. So that's what I wanted to touch on. It was like so tasteful.
I recently went back and listened to Nostalgic, and the one thing that stood out to me was the lead work. I was just like, dude, some of these leads are just so friggin' intense. Like, and Hank, for being like not super known, because he's kind of like taking a step back from music. I mean, he still plays a lot. He just plays for himself. He's not really putting himself out there and like trying to, be known like that. But he's respected by so many incredible players. I mean, like, like some of the best players, like, we'll talk about Hank in such a high regard. It's cool to hear sometimes. And I'm real proud that I did, what I did with him. He was probably the best guitar player, I ever jammed with.
That says something coming from your background. So that's really cool.
I've been very fortunate to jam with so many amazing guitarists and still be able to jam with so many amazing guitarists. But anybody will tell you that knows Hank and is familiar with Hank, that he's just a different animal. He really is.
Knows how to noodle it.
Yeah, how to noodle it.
Yeah. Like.
So did want to take a step back. I know, again, you got so much going on. I'm looking at my notes and it's like, shit, So tell us a little bit about We Are the Romans and the prosperity pandemic.
So, We Are the Romans. They were from Queens, New York. I'm from upstate New York, so this was going back to like the MySpace days. I just remember being like randomly on MySpace, and I got a random message from this dude Jerry, um, and he was like, "Yo, dude, we love My Bitter End," and uh, he basically just asked me if I wanted to join his band, and I didn't even I didn't check the material out for quite a while actually after I had gotten that message, which I like usually don't do that, but I must have had something going on, and for some reason just didn't remember to get back with him. But when I did, I checked it out and I was like, whoa, like I need to be in this. Like the music definitely just grabbed me. Like I'm a guy like that. Like I don't care about like how big your band is. I care about like how good your band is. And so like the art always comes first for me. And so when I heard the music, I was like, shit, this is something I got to be involved in. And I hit them up and basically just went to jam with them, and we hit it off right away. And then we just kind of started jamming. We didn't play that many shows. The band wasn't around all that long. Like I joined Through the Eyes of the Dead pretty much around the same time I had joined We Are the Romans. So Through the Eyes was like, getting all these crazy tours, and like we were just never around. And it got to a point where they were like exploring other drummers to try and like, fill in, so they could be busy while I'm on tour. And that ended up not working out. And, Sumerian Records actually reached out to We Are the Romans and made an offer to us. And we did a showcase for them. Things went really well, but in that showcase, like I was leaving for a tour with Whitechapel, literally like the guy at the tour package was waiting behind the venue for me, like while we did the showcase. And so Sumerian like noticed, and they were like,
This
we're
guy's
not going to
busy.
invest in this band if you're in another band that's doing this. And so like, unfortunately, like the Sumerian deal ended up not really happening, and we self-released Prosperity Pandemic, which it did okay, but we just never really got the traction that we needed to have. And and everybody started losing interest after, like things weren't really popping off too quick. And we gave it a couple of years. We played some shows, but it just kind of just dissolved after some time. I kept staying busy and getting more tours with Through the Eyes, and like they just never found somebody that could be in the band, like for them. So I stayed in touch with all the guys, and I'm really good friends. Like I started new projects with honestly everybody almost in that band except for Jerry. Mo, the vocalist, ended up joining Circuit of Suns.
That was my next part. So yeah.
And then I started with the guitarist Steve. We ended up doing Proceed on Your Way to Oblivion.
Super group.
And so yeah, that's pretty much how that all turned. Which Proceed, that was just a whole idea I wanted to do, since forever. I've always been a huge Transformers nerd. So
are you guys going to do any more releases under that name?
Yeah, I mean, like, so Steve, who's the guitar player from Romans, and I, we talk about, trying to we have 2 new songs that are tracked on drums, and he's got to do his guitars out. He lives in LA, so it's like, it's kind of hard to coordinate sometimes because I'm in New York, he's in LA, and then Shane is in Cognitive, and they're busy all the time, but we do talk about, trying to get another one going. It'll happen eventually. I think it'll be cool too. I think, like the way the first album came together, it wasn't rushed, but this next one, I think we'll have more time to focus on some stuff and improve some things.
I did want to say, speaking on terms of Mo, Circuit of Suns, I love that album so much. That one is really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, dude. Did you? I feel like I remember talking to you. Didn't he fill in, or was planning on to fill in for you guys for some Leyline stuff previously?
For Mo?
Yeah. Or am I
No,
misremembering that?
So Mo's no longer in Circuit of Suns. It was a dude named Jason Sherman who ended up becoming the vocalist of Circuit, and that's the person who fills in for Leylines occasionally.
Oh, okay, cool.
I unfortunately have not heard from Mo in a few years. We lost touch, and you know, I don't wish him any ill will. I hope he's doing good, but I haven't. It's been a few years.
I had one other thing. Hang on, sorry, I'm looking at my notes. I had one thing I wanted to say specifically. I got a bunch of stuff.
Take your time, man. It's all good.
Logan, you got a question for Michael before I start looking at my notes too hard?
Not off the top of my head, because I don't even, to be honest with you, I missed a note or something. I don't know what Circuit of Sun is. I'm sorry.
No, don't worry.
I know that's where you're on the subject at.
Yeah, it's just another band.
Okay.
Just another band.
Like I said earlier, we're both collectors. We buy a lot of stuff. I know that you buy vinyl and you're a vinyl collector. Just in general, give me two or three desert island albums that like you could listen to day and night. You're stranded on an island. What are those?
Forward from Disperse would be one album that I could be on an island stuck with and listen to it a million times and be fine with it. Man, there's so many, honestly, that I could be fine with, but I would have to say, you know, Chaos Fear also.
Yep, Meshuggah. Let's go.
Would be another one that I could, you know, be fine with listening to forever, all the time. You know, there's a lot, dude. There's a lot of albums that I could put on GOAT status.
Hit you with that right out of left field. It's like, oh shit, I could have been prepared for this, but yeah.
Oh, no, it's all good. It's all good. I mean, like, you know, it's just I could feel differently, you know, an hour from now. But those are two albums I could definitely, you know, Forward from Dispersed and Chaos Fear from Meshuggah are definitely two I could live with for the rest of my life and not be mad about it. That's for sure.
So. Well, before Logan gives his out, I did have three prepared. It Dies Today, Sirens, is one of my favorite albums of all time. I sing along that wholeheartedly every time it comes up.
Hell yeah.
Limp Bizkit, $3 Bill. Just straight up classic. And then
incredible. Dude, I remember being at a Korn Helmet and Limp Bizkit show, like back in when I was still in high school, and Fred Durst was walking around handing out cassette demos, dude. I got one of them.
That's so crazy, dude.
Insane, right? I mean, like it had 3 songs on it. It had 3 songs on it, and I played the hell out of that thing, dude. But that was another band I got to see at that venue. You know, I was talking about the Chance Theater. Limp Bizkit played there too. I went up to Fred Durst and I asked him if he wanted to smoke some weed with me, and he was like, "Hell no."
Oh. Well, all right, whatever.
It's all good. He was cool. He was cool. He just didn't want to blaze, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was funny because, you know, growing up, like, I kind of missed the boat on nu metal. I was not quite born in that generation. I'm not young, but I'm not old. But
for sure,
first, like, I'm trying to get my fingers over here so you can see it. Gent band I ever played in. The other guitar player and the drummer were just like, "What do you mean you don't like Limp Bizkit?" It was just like, they're just okay, you know. And they're like, "No," like, and as I got older, the more I'm like, "Okay, yeah, Limp Bizkit, fucking, they fuck." So,
no, they're a great band. I mean, but I will say, dude, like, $3 Bill Y'all is still my favorite album from them.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
like 100%. You know, it just is what it is. I appreciate everything else they've done. You know, they're Grammy nominated band now, and that's awesome. But I like their old stuff still the most.
Wes Borland's the fucking dude. But my third one, I would say, moving forward, it's anybody who knows me, Logan knows it. He knows, but Bermuda the Wandering.
Pretty sure I know. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Bermuda the Wandering from Media Scare is one of my favorite albums of all time. Like, it just makes me want to fucking chug a monster, fucking punch a hole in the wall, change my name to Kyle, like whatever you think. Like, that is the album.
Shout out to Corey. I love that dude. Corey's my dude. He's a homie.
Yep. And they're back again too, album. And they're even better than ever. You know, they're back with they're doing stuff with Aaron from Iron Audio, I think is or Silent Pendulum, too. So you guys got the hook up with them too. So anyway,
I mean, I talk to Corey pretty regularly, so like I think they're looking for a drummer right now. I'm pretty sure. And once they get their lineup sorted out, Leylines and them are going to be for sure linking up at some point. It's been talked about, and it'll happen at some point down the road for sure. So
love to hear.
Hell yeah. I only have two because I've literally been sitting here since both of you started, and I cannot decide on a third. But I have two. I have one metal and then another one may surprise, but my metal album is Proprioception by And Hell Followed With. Like, that's just, I don't know. Ever since I heard that album, it's fucking perfect to me from front to back. Like, I don't skip anything on it. It's just absolutely amazing.
I actually got approached to play for them, And Hell Followed With.
Hell yeah.
They're looking for a guy to join the band. They're not looking for like a session player, so I unfortunately could not commit to that. But I pointed them in the direction of a drummer that was more than capable. I hope that they work things out, because if they linked up, that'll be sick. But yeah, that band is awesome. I love Nick, who used to be in Aegeon, plays for them now.
Yeah,
and
I saw that.
All those guys are good homies, and so like I hope
shout out Daniel Gomez. We love him too. Yep.
Yeah, they're good Patrick guys Hahn. For sure.
Yeah.
I haven't met him officially, but I have so many mutual friends that all say he's a great guy, and so I trust their judgment.
Hell yeah. My other album is one that from like childhood. I don't know why, but Elton John's Madman Across the Water I could listen to on repeat forever. So like that's my other album that I would probably Desert Island album. But I can't decide.
Right on, man. Yeah. Elton John, you can't go wrong with Elton John, man. I mean, like that's
right.
He's a classic musician.
My uncle instilled that one into me when I was a kid, and that's just always stuck with me. Like, I don't know.
Absolutely. No, that's awesome, man. I mean, like if it, like when I'm thinking about stuff like that, especially like in a podcast, like I'm for some reason I'm always just thinking heavy bands for some reason it's associated with the interview more than likely,
right.
But yeah, I definitely have bands like that. I would say the Doors and stuff like that are, like I grew up on, and
if I had to pick a third, it would probably be Continent by the Acacia Strain. I'll say that. That'd be probably my third, would be Continent by the Acacia Strain. Yeah.
I toured with those guys a bunch of times.
Third.
And good dudes for sure.
They're still killing it, man. To this day, that new album,
right?
They just dropped that new album. Yeah, I haven't listened to it yet, but they always are just consistent. Every release, every lineup. They know how to keep the train moving. Like and they're the best at what they do. That's for sure.
Yeah,
I got to check that new album.
I did want to piggyback on what you were saying too. Is I'm the same way. You usually, like, we're talking about metal here, but like we love hard rock.
I'm sorry,
all sorts of different stuff. But yeah, if I wanted to throw one in there too, it's like, man, I love Thin Lizzy. Thin Lizzy is one of my favorite bands of all time. So, and
Dimmu Borgir.
I love
hell yeah,
Thunder and Lightning. That is the one for me. I love that album. Yeah,
right on. Yeah, Puritanical is my album from them for sure. I mean, it's just the Fear and Wonder is such a sick intro, and and that whole album, I feel like it just flows so great, Plus, I'm a huge Nick Barker fan. I love Nick Barker's drumming. He's just incredible. I saw them, maybe 10 years ago now. They were killer though. I think Hellhammer was drumming for them.
Really? That's crazy, dude. Okay. Well, sorry. Yeah, we got a little off topic, but that doesn't matter because it's all about it.
That's all good.
So, moving forward, tell us a little bit about Dismiss with Through the Eyes of the Dead.
So that came out in 2017. That was our first album that we did with Steven Funderburg. He had joined the band in 2014 after Hank left. He's become one of my best friends in the world. I love that kid so much, man. And the new Wretched album, if you guys haven't heard it, is absolutely incredible.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, like shout out to Steven, shout out to Marshall, shout out to all those dudes. They're my favorite people. But yeah, Dysomus was written, you know, mostly Jake and Justin pretty much handled all of that, you know, pre-production, and we signed. It was our first album that we did with E1 also. But yeah, you know, that was a heavily you know, done. It was written a lot more by Jake and Justin, as opposed to like Skepsis. You know, Justin wrote a good amount, Jake wrote a decent amount on that also, but majority of that was me and Hank. You know, so
what's the name of your guys' vocalist? For
Danny Rodriguez.
So I did want to just get a little quip in there real quick. I was telling Logan about this. I was really stoked earlier. I bought a CD earlier today. I haven't been buying as many CDs, but a friend of mine was selling some CDs, and I bought Air Johnny, which is Danny Rodriguez.
Urgeny. Dude, that band is Urgeny,
I got a killer deal on that CD, and it was just like, yep, that's mine right away. So anyway, just want to shout him out.
You got some gold, bro. That's pretty sick that you found one of those.
$25. Yeah.
That's pretty sick that you found one of those, dude. Yeah, dude. Yeah, how sick was that band? I mean, for how young they were, and like, I remember when he first joined Through the Eyes, and he came through. He's like, "Yeah, I got a band back home. You know, it's like tech metal," and I was like, "Awesome, show it to me." And like he showed, and I was just like, "Why are you in our? What are you doing here, dude?" Like, you know, and it was so good, dude. Yeah, Danny is like a mega tech metal nerd, dude. He's like one of those guys that finds the most obscure stuff and knows every in and out about it before you even heard of them. Like, and you know, like he's turned me on to so many awesome bands. I mean, like he introduced Surreption to me. He introduced Defeated Sanity to me. So many bands, so many awesome bands that I would not know of if not for Danny, you know, like
Surreption is that band, man. Like, and also dude, now that you gave me a perfect segue for that, tell me a little about, I'm going to mispronounce it. I know Alan's my dude. Hyperthrall.
Yeah. Honestly, like I've never pronounced it correct myself. But yeah, they, dude, another insane band, you know, like I remember hearing the EP and like being like, damn, they're sick. They need a drummer. And then Alan, you know, lo and behold, just randomly hit me up one day and we started talking, and he was like, we really want an actual drum performance on our full length. Are you available and interested? And I, you know, it didn't take me any time to say yes. I was like, I'm in, dude. Let's do it. You know, I got 3 songs left. I'm working on them now. They're not easy to learn.
I can't imagine. I just wanted to say that was such a surreal, cool connection between you and me. I know we've talked and we, you know, through the internet, but I met Alan a number of years ago, and my band that is currently looking for a drummer live, first when we played our album release show years and years ago, I think it was like 5 years ago at this point, his band Shaping Motion played with us, and it was just one of those things like, oh my God, these guys are insane. They were instrumental prog, and they were all amazing, but yeah. And then they just stopped being a band. And then all of a sudden he popped back up again, and it was just like he's doing Necrophagus style Surreption, crazy, like faster than any human should be able to play kind of shit. And then you're on it, and it was just like, so clean too.
Such a clean player, and he's so young. He's only going to get better with time. I mean, you know, super awesome, level-headed dude that I love talking to. Also, I mean, like we mapped out a great plan for this album, and it's been, I mean, like all the songs are so sick. These last 3 are mind blowing, and like, you know, like yeah, I can't wait to get them done. I'm just about ready to track at least one of the last three pretty soon, and it's Alan's personal favorite ones. So yeah,
gotta do it justice. Not that you
oh,
wouldn't,
I'm gonna turn it out for sure. But yeah, it's I really can't wait for that album to be done. It's gonna be something cool that people will really appreciate, and it'll show a different side of my playing too, which is cool. I'm looking forward to getting that out there.
Man, you got it all though. Just throwing it out there. It's like you got every facet of what you want. You want to talk about doing dancecore, you want to do fast blasting stuff, like straight up death metal, like you got it. Like you're the dude.
Very lucky to have a lot of awesome musicians that are willing to jam with me and work on projects with me. You know, it's like sometimes I don't even realize how lucky I am. You know, but I've gotten to work with some of my heroes. You know, like getting to be in a band. I wish Jonathan was here, jerk. You know, he should. I was, you know, like I still get so pumped at the, you know, the fact that he's the vocalist for Leylines. You know, like, and we started talking and being buddies by our we both like building RC cars. You know, like we're, you know,
hell yeah. I do that with my uncle.
I build RC cars and I like to like jump them off my house and stuff. Like
now you and Logan are like best friends too.
Yeah, my uncle has like a full blown like dirt track in his whole side yard. We got a bunch of 4-wheel drive.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean like
it's fucking
yeah, like dirt bike MX tracks are like the best kind for RCs. Like especially like the brushless
like
motor ones.
We built a mini scale like one down to like 1/10, and then we have 1/10 like 4-wheel drive RC cars that are brushless.
Oh yeah, I got 1/8.
Oh no,
I got 1/8 cars. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I got like 15 of them, and they're all like, dude, they all go like 80 miles an hour. They're ridiculous, dude.
Yeah.
And
that's fucking awesome.
And so Jonathan builds them too, and we kind of just became buddies, like talking about that. And I remember, like, you know, we were talking about cars, and then I was like, yeah, you know, I play drums in a band also, and I've been in bands before. He was like, oh, really? What bands were you in? And so I told him I was in My Bitter End, and he was like,
no,
dude, what? He's like, that was one of my favorite albums, like growing up ever. And I was like, well, cool, because Exoplan was one of my favorite albums ever, so maybe we should play in a band. And I tried talking him into joining a band for so many years, dude. Oh my god, I shot him the Proceed material before anybody else, and he was like, nah, this ain't for me, sorry. Like,
what? But
finally,
hey,
when I showed him the Leyline stuff, when I showed him the Leyline stuff, he finally was like, this is something I like.
Straight up his alley, 100%. Yeah.
With Proceed, like we had so many different vocalists before we got Shane from Cognitive. Like, so it was Jonathan was originally the guy I wanted. I thought he would be awesome for a death metal band. I wanted to see like what his take on it would be, but he didn't go for it. So then I got in touch with Nate Johnson, and Nate Johnson was going to be our vocalist. Dude, it was 3 years of me sending him. I sent him all the songs. He was like, I'm going to kill it, dude. I can't wait to do this. And like 3 years of never getting even a clip from him. And we got tired of waiting. We were like, dude, like, if you're not going to do it, you're not going to do it. And he finally was like, I won't be mad if you find somebody else. So we did. And we got Anj from Wormhole. And he did the entire album, sent us all the vocals. And then I don't know if you guys remember, like he had some allegations happen and some stuff happen. He ended up being kicked out of Wormhole, and we unfortunately had to part ways with him as well, and had to scrap the vocals. And we were going to scrap the whole Proceed project at that point because we didn't know what to do. Shane from Cognitive reached out to me and was like, I heard the songs, I see the potential in them. I really don't want you guys to have to scrap the project. I would love to join the band. And I was like, are you fucking serious, dude?
He's a monster, dude.
Let's get it, dude.
Yeah.
And like, you know, that's how Shane ended up joining Proceed, you know?
That's cool.
So we lucked out with that one for sure. He came in, he friggin' knocked out the vocals in like one day, like for every song.
That's ridiculous.
And then we just kept it moving, you know?
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah, dude. I love
Shane's
that project.
Shane is one of those. Shane is something. he's one of the best metal vocalists that in existence, dude. Like that kid is unbelievable. You know, could the kind of guy that can just do, you know, he could step into anything and just crush it, you know.
Kind of like you filling in for any band like the Zenith Passage and fucking dude, you're a fucking beast. Like I'm not trying to keep back. Yeah, I'm just like there's so much that like in my notes that I'm looking back on. It's like there's so much to just like touch on, but yeah, you're just a monster. I wish I could have seen you fill in for the Zenith Passage. That would have been killer. So
yeah, it was only 5 shows. That was it was weird how that happened. So like you know, do you know Matt Kohanowski? He plays for Euclid.
Yep.
And he used to be in Oceano.
Yep.
Or was he's a long time friend of mine. You know, real good homie. And I guess Justin McKinney had reached out to him and wanted him to play for Zenith, and he couldn't do it, so he got in touch with me right away. It was like, yo, you want a gig? You know, blah blah blah. And I didn't know any of the Zenith stuff at the time at all. But he told me about it, and he like kind of gave me a heads up that they had signed the Metal Blade. So I was like, oh, well, let me check the stuff out. And I just started learning the stuff right away, and basically learned like, you know, 4 or 5 songs. Then I just hit up McKinney and I was like, look, Matt told me about you guys looking for a guy. Here's a couple of songs that I learned. Just check them out. And he was like, hell yeah. He was pumped on the songs, and basically just hit me up and asked me if I was available to do, you know, a run with Shadow of Intent and Wormhole, and it was just a small little, you know, West Coast thing. And so I said, yeah, I'll do it. You know, I wanted to be able to say that I jammed with those dudes, you know, so it was cool. It was fun. I didn't really make any money. They just paid for my flight there and back, but
it's an experience, right?
But you know, it was fun to go and just hang with the dudes and jam those songs, you know. I wanted to prove to myself that I could do it, so yeah, that's why I did it.
Dude, I was sitting here waiting for a while to hear that you were going to be Archspire's new drummer.
No, yeah, right.
No, love you, bro. Dude, you could have done it, but I was just like, come on, where's Michael? Come on.
That band is crazy. I do like Archspire. I gotta listen to them more. I do not. I will be the first to admit I don't give them enough time, and I need to change that. They're definitely an incredible band. What I have heard, I like a lot. It's just one of the bands I have not revisited enough times that I don't know enough about them to especially try out for them. That's for sure. You know,
I know you can do it. You got it in
Spencer. So Inferi actually was
Spencer
on that run when I filled in for Zenith. That was Inferi was on that run also. I forgot about that, and so I got to be buddies with Spencer and all those dudes. In fact, and when I found out he joined Archspire, I was pumped for him, dude. He's such a sick drummer, such an awesome dude. So hopefully, you know, he has a really long career with those dudes and does well for himself. He was always a nice guy to me.
Curious, not to put you on the spot, but any other drummers out there that you think deserve the attention that they're not getting that you think are really good?
Definitely Tony Westermark from Surreption, 100% should be 100%. Studied. Let's see. There's, you know, as he's getting more notoriety lately, but Elliot from Carbomb, Elliot Hoffman is a drummer that literally everybody should know about.
Agreed.
You know, good homie too. I've toured with him. I've had a lot of good times with all the Carbomb guys, in fact. So, you know, seeing those guys get the recognition they deserve is always really cool. Some other drummers, man, you know, like there's a lot of awesome drummers that I come across, you know, all the time. It's been a while since I've played. I'm terrible with remembering names too sometimes. But
same.
I played a festival in Wisconsin. I played a festival a couple, like maybe a month or two ago in Wisconsin. I did double duties with Leylines and Through the Eyes, and man, never doing that again. My body was like, don't do that. but there was a band called Soothsayer, I think they were called, or something. I forget.
Maybe Still Stayer.
But
were they like
Stillsayer?
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's them. Their drummer was really awesome. He was cool. He's doing some really cool stuff, and I definitely liked their whole vibe that they had going. They were a cool band for sure.
There's a lot of cool bands from Wisconsin. That's close to where we're from.
Mm-hmm.
Dude. Speaking of bands from, so one of the newer bands that I'm actually talking about doing drums for is Erroneous.
No way!
Yeah,
dude.
Hopefully they're not mad that I just dropped their name.
No, that's fucking killer, dude. I love Erroneous.
Yeah,
they are kind of like
so Ryan Brumlick, their guitar player, who's like their mastermind. He's a longtime homie of mine. We actually are in another band together that we did with Kyle Chapman from Aetherius. And when we played out in Wisconsin, he came out to the show, and we were just hanging, and he sent me all of like this insane Erroneous material, dude. It's 8-string stuff, and it's friggin' mind blowing, dude. So I gotta finish the Hypothrall album. I'm doing the new Anomalous album also.
Dude.
Once I'm finished with those, I'm gonna try to start getting familiar with this Erroneous stuff. I told those guys, if I take too long, I get it, but I would love to be a part of it if I can. So
they are really crazy. They are like
dude,
one of our favorite regional acts that I've had the pleasure of playing with them. Logan has too. Is By the Thousands. If you ever heard them or listened to them, Erroneous,
those are homies, dude. Circuit of Suns toured with By the Thousands.
That's nuts. But yeah, they Erroneous really embodies like a lot of the Fallen Archaea, By the Thousands, kind of like genty fucking really like slapping riffs, and then all the technical death metal is sprinkled in Erroneous, and every album that they put out is just nuts, and they are one of my favorite uncut gems. So yeah,
agreed, dude. Yeah, they the guitar work especially is just so awesome. Everything is incredible. It all ties into it. Even the vocals are just so sick. The timing and the cues and everything are just so cool. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I already told them, I love them. They're my boys. Obviously, I want to jam with my friends. Mm-hmm. So if I can make it work, I'm gonna do what do my best. Well, got some big shoes to fill with the guys they've had in their previous releases. So I know
they've had new drummers on every release, and they just keep. Not that they're not for naught, but like every release just like feels like they level up more and more, and that's why it's like you're the next logical step.
Insane, dude. And dude, Ryan is such a nut, dude. He's got like 3 albums on the back burner already, ready to go, like written. He's like, so like.
There's something in the water over there in Wisconsin and Minnesota.
Those boys know how to. They know how to jam. That's for sure.
It's cold. You just got to chill with your guitar.
Yeah.
Got to grab some hams and hunker down.
Keep the blood flowing,
Damn right.
Nope. I hear that, dude. I hear that.
Well, my friend, tell us a little bit about how Leylines formed, and let's explore these 2 most recent releases.
Okay, so a lot of names involved with Leylines. Basically, so Leylines started. I started it wasn't known as Leylines at this time, but I started a project with it was going to be me and Lane from Danza. So because he's one of my good buddies. I've been boys with him for a long time, and we talk pretty regularly. So I for the Leyline stuff, I write all the songs on drums first before anything else gets written. So I wrote Blind Spots and I wrote Acceptance Comes Before Death. Those were the 2 very first songs I ever came up with for Leylines. And I had sent those to Lane, and then Lane brought Josh Travis in also. And so it was going to be me, Lane, and Josh. And, Lane and Josh are busy guys.
And Danza's
it
back
just never
again.
materialized. I had sent them the drum tracks, and they just never had time to do anything with them. So those tracks sat in my Dropbox for like almost 3 years, and I got tired of just them sitting there. And I was like, I made a post on Facebook like, "Yo, I got these tracks that are kind of like Danza-ish. If there's anybody that wants to take a stab at writing some guitars to them, get at me." And Jesse Blanchett, who is now the guitarist of Leylines, was one of the first guys to hit me up. He's like, "Can I get the tracks? Like, I'll see what I can do with them." Literally wrote Blind Spots guitars and Acceptance guitars in 12 hours, dude. I'm not even kidding. 12 hours, both songs. Sent them to me the very next day. He's like, "Here, check them out." And I listened to them, and I was just like, I guess I got another band. What the fuck? And so that's how it happened. And at that point, when I realized how sick Jesse is at writing to my drums, I was like, I'm going to the studio. I'm gonna track like another friggin' 15 songs. I just kept sending them to Jesse. I would track the drums. We would get them edited just enough to where he could jam to them, and he would have them back to me like the end of the week, sometimes sooner. Fully written with synths in the background, everything done, and like they were like, I was like, dude, these songs are friggin' insane. What the fuck?
Talk some
And
Robinson stuff.
that's
You
that's
ever heard
basically
of
when I
that
sent
band?
them to Jonathan. Like, actually, no, I'm sorry, we didn't send them to Jonathan. So we ended up getting Tyler from My Bitter End in the band on vocals first, and he was kind of same deal like with us sending material to Nate with Proceed. Like he just took a long time to get stuff done. And after like I think it was like a good year of me and Jesse kind of waiting for some vocals to get produced, we decided that we told Tyler it's not working out. We're going to look for somebody else, and we sent the songs to Jonathan, and Jonathan immediately jumped on him. Like as soon as he heard him, he was like, I want to be on this," and it's been like that ever since. He's been in the band, and we now have like a collective vision that we're focused on trying to make Leylines, be the best thing it can be. So we just submitted the finished drums for the full length, and are reamping guitars for the full length also. And then Jonathan will start working on his vocals for that. It's 12 songs for the Leylines full length.
Are you guys doing that independently? And if not, if you can answer, don't. Yeah.
There's a couple labels that we've been talking to. We're not going to self-release that one. It's going to be on a label, but we don't know what label yet. There's
Metal Blade, pick them up.
I tell Steven all the time, and I'm actually I'm pretty good buddies with Ryan, who is the A&R at Metal Blade, who used to play bass in Dahlia.
Dude,
we're cool enough where I hit him up occasionally and keep him up. He knows about Leylines. He's keeping an eye on us. We'll see what happens. I don't really know what the deal is with that yet. But
who would you guys want to sign with if you could answer that for me at least? Then that in that regard,
sure. I mean, like I'm a Meshuggah fanboy. I want to be label mates with Meshuggah, so I would go with Nuclear Blast.
There you go.
Or Atomic. What is it? Atomic something. I forget. They have like a subsidiary now of the label. But yeah, Nuclear Blast would be my dream gig for sure to be associated with. Just because I would want to try to have an opportunity to tour with Meshuggah. That would probably be the best route. So
you guys would fit right in with Car Bomb and Meshuggah. Like,
right.
Agreed. I mean, hopefully we get an opportunity to even just play one show with those guys one day. But if not, I've been blessed I toured with Car Bomb in Europe. It was life-changing experience for me, like getting to see those guys every night.
I want to see them.
We shared a bus with them. So like it was a very close-knit setting, for everybody. We spent a lot of time together and had some good times, and it was very cool to be introduced to how things work, in Europe, especially on a tour. Like that was my first time doing that, and those guys being under their wing, they took us, and me especially. Elliot showed me a lot of like ways to make things easy on stage, and have it go smoothly. And I'm definitely indebted to him for that. And, that was, I definitely, hope that Leylines can jam with those dudes. That's a big goal of mine, but we'll see what happens,
I think you guys will get where you want to go. You've got a bright future in front of you. You only had 2 EPs under your belt in less than 2 years, and you have a full length ready to go. So, yeah, that sounds good.
I hope, man. It's like politics involved with music and stuff. It's, sometimes you got to win people over, and it takes a little longer than others, but we're not in a rush, and we're having a good time, and I'm super proud of the music. So regardless of what ever happens, I have no regrets on anything,
The new EP that you dropped on Friday is absolutely insane. I'd never heard of Leylines until Brandon told me about you guys
awesome,
a week or two ago, and like I've been listening to both EPs, or the first one nonstop, and then that one 3 or 4 times at least since Friday. It's awesome.
Dude, thank you so much, man.
My favorite track is definitely Another Mimic off of the new one. I love that. Just the
Hell
whole
yeah, dude.
the first minute and a half, just once everything kicks in, it's just I love chaos and music. Like that's one of my
it's a big old school Dillinger influenced song.
That's I love Dillinger, especially that old early Dillinger and stuff, and the early mathcore stuff. That's my favorite type of music. So yeah,
Under the Running Board and Calculating are my 2 favorite Dillinger releases. I love everything they've done, but those would be my 2 favorites.
Big agree.
I consider myself pretty decent at figuring out odd time signatures and catching on to stuff. I got nothing for the beginning of that song. Straight up, that was in my notes. I was trying to catch the time signature and trying to figure it out. I was like, okay, never mind. I'm just gonna listen to this and enjoy it. It's just
dude, there's never a time where it repeats in that song. Everything is different.
That's awesome.
It is, and then it's also anxiety inducing.
I love that shit in music. I like when music fucks with the listener. When I write, I don't know, I don't care what the time signature is. I just want it to sound what the vision is.
For
sure. I'm not trying to write everything 4/4. I'm trying to. I want to.
And then he shows up with me to record music, and it's okay, this is 5/4, this is 3/4, this is, oh my God, Logan, what are you doing? But yeah,
it's
all good.
I like music that makes me have to rewind it a million times and be like, what happened there?
Yep, 100%.
Who did you guys mix and master this newest EP with?
Same dude that did the first one. His name's Michael Ranne. New Jersey guy, good friend of mine for a long time. Actually used to be the bass player in Circuit of Suns.
Cool.
Just incredible mind for audio production. The dude, he knows how to make it work for what we need. And
I think he captured it perfect.
He's doing some awesome stuff. He did the new Number 12 album.
Sweet. Hell yeah.
And he did the new Rollo Tomasi also. And he used to work at Backroom Studios with Kevin Antrazian, but he's gone into business for himself, does his own thing now, and yeah, that's who does all the Leyline stuff. He'll probably be with us, for the lifetime of the band. Honestly,
he's killing it, man. Yeah,
he's just we're just aligned with him. To be perfectly honest, I would love for him to join the band on second guitar, but it'll never happen. But yeah, he's a homie, always will be a homie, and looks out, for us, especially on the audio end. He just goes the extra mile for us, and we need that. So,
who says dude at the beginning of Vanta Black Box? The very beginning of the song. Jonathan.
That's Jonathan.
He just goes, dude.
Yeah, so we didn't keep that originally, and then we all got in the band chat and we were like, "Yo, bring the dude back." Bring it back.
That's my dude. Yeah, no, I had to go back several times. It's this is hilarious. I'm gonna include this.
Right.
Yeah.
Mikhail had taken that out, and we literally went back and we were like, "Mikhail,
bring it back.
Can you put the dude back in another in Vanta Black?" And it's funny, there's in Another Mimic, there's a breakdown at the end where there's a small section of silence, and the original recording had a cat like meowing in it.
That's awesome.
And like, I tried so hard to keep it, but nobody wanted to keep it. So
yeah.
I was like, come on, man, let's keep the cat.
It just brings me back to like
yeah.
As Blood Runs Black when they do, ooh, I like that. Like any of those like little hidden stuff. I love that stuff. Yeah.
Dude, I don't remember the story of that, but I remember because My Bitter End toured with As Blood Runs Black, and Lech literally told me how that whole entire thing transpired, but it's been so long that it just doesn't exist in my mind anymore, unfortunately. But I got some funny stories with As Blood Runs Black, though, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's just do your final thoughts.
Go ahead.
Shout anything out you want. Obviously, Leylines. Anything you got coming up, just let us know, buddy.
So if go on our website, we have Leylines has leylinestech.com, and it has all of our dates. It's got our merch. It's got everything that news wise, keeping up with the band. That's the best way to do it. Just shout out to all my band members and all my band, and Justin, Steven, Danny, from Through the Eyes. Those guys are like family to me. Everybody that I've ever jammed with, everybody that gives me session gigs, it's always appreciated, never goes unnoticed, and I hope that I can keep doing it for a long time. We'll see what happens.
You definitely got it in you, my man. So yeah, on behalf of me and Logan, it's been great, dude. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, it's been another exciting episode of the Just Noise podcast. Keep an eye out for our buddy here and any of his musical endeavors, and enjoy the rest of your spooky season, everybody. Good to see you. Until you think that will